Yeah. That's really good. Oh. Oh. Wait, here's that siren, so hopefully they're getting that out before we go live. Yep. Yep, exactly. I live 3 houses down from a fire station, so anytime there's anything. Yep. It's yeah, that's the old school marketing. It's funny because it doesn't even happen every day. It doesn't, but it does happen a lot, but not every day. So it's just funny because it happens every time we're live. What's up?
We're live. Welcome everyone. Welcome to XTV.
Welcome.
I hope you're doing great. How are you, Caleb? Back in the live streams, as I see.
Back on the live stream. That's right. Yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm excited for today. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. Excited for this third episode today, and of course the topic that we're gonna be discussing today, which is, are you ready to work remotely with global teams? Right? It's not a small question. Are you ready?
Not a small question.
Caleb, are you ready for it?
Whew, it's been over a decade. I think I got it. I think
so too. And it's exactly why I think your expertise here will help us, of course, navigate these questions. And in general, I think this is like a good talking point, because remote work can sound very simple from the outside. Sometimes. Like you work from home, you have more flexibility, maybe you get to work from wherever you are, and yes, all of that is great. But once you start working with people across countries, time zones, cultures, and clients, you realize there's a lot more to it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And center to it probably communication, trust, ownership. It's knowing how to work when not everyone is online at the same time. Being clear, intentional, being reliable, asking good questions, which I hope we have a bunch of today.
Yes.
And figuring out how to stay connected, right?
1,000%. Yeah. I mean, obviously, with most things in life, there's pros, there's cons, there's things that work better for some individuals versus others. But yeah, remote work always sounds amazing, and I do benefit from it. I do appreciate it. But there are unknowns. There are things that you might not know when you're jumping into a remote environment. And I would even say fully remote is different than hybrid. I've done hybrid as well in my day, and even fully remote is a different experience than just hybrid. So I think we're gonna get into a lot of those topics and nuances today, and I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. But we also have a special guest today, and that's
right.
Gabs.
Yes.
Hi everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
There we go. Hey Gabs.
I'm really excited to see you. Hey Gabs, now you're on. Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's awesome to be with you guys, and it seems like we have quite a journey and a quest to help out others and to share scrolls of wisdoms that we have collected.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And so obviously we'll jump into it here in a second, but for anyone watching, if you are in that position where you have questions about this experience, about this journey, about X-Team, about remote work and life in general, obviously drop that wherever you're viewing us. I think we can see, might need some help with the producers here, but I think we can see YouTube, and I don't know where else we can see comments, but I want to make sure we get to folks if they have questions.
That's true. Yes. YouTube. Just YouTube this time.
Okay.
But yes, we'll cover the questions. Of course, Gabs is part of the recruitment team, and she will help us, navigate questions that we, quite frankly, hear a lot, right? About English level and seniority and remote working, time zones, all of that. So I wanted to start with the big question, Gabs, for you. When we say someone is ready to work remotely with global teams, what does that actually mean in your experience?
Well, in my experience, I feel like it's first of all, it's a very broad question, but I think that there's certain aspects that you have to take into consideration. If you're asking yourself that question, I'm pretty sure that your mindset is already there. Like, you're willing to take on the challenge, and you trust yourself to be able to do so, right? But let's break it down a little bit. So I think that something that can be overlooked sometimes, it's also physical realm, your environments, your spaces. It's important that you have a dedicated space that you will be able to perform your role in, but also the equipment, that you have the equipment that is going to support this journey that you're about to embark on. So when I say that, don't think of it as, oh, if I don't have like a dedicated space, or if I don't have the best equipment, the high-end top-notch technology, I can't do it. Don't overthink yourself to say, okay, better not. you don't need that. You just need something that is functional and that supports your role, right? When it comes to spaces, we all started somewhere. We all started with, a desk and a laptop, but it got the job done, and it can get you far. From there, you will grow. And then when it comes to the mindset, once again, I go back to, if you're asking yourself that question, I feel that you have already toyed around with the idea of, hey, I think that what I'm doing, I could definitely do it from home. And I think that that's important, that recognition. And then it comes with the maturity of understanding working from home can mean different things. There's a difference between remote and async, right? Remote, you're working from pretty much, but you have made a commitment to be responsible for a certain amount of hours to dedicate to this specific role and your responsibilities and deliverables, right? If you're thinking, oh, I'm working from home, so I have the whole day to, get to it. Yeah, that can play against you. So that is a level of maturity of understanding. For this amount of time, I'm committed and I'm gonna be responsible. And it's also very important for your own psyche, understanding, yeah, this is my schedule, but also that is the allocated time that I have to show up and be responsible for the agreement that I sign up for. I think that I covered a little bit of everything. What do you guys think?
Yeah, totally.
I agree.
Yeah, and one thing I'll add is, obviously we're X team. We're typically almost always hiring developers, engineers, and that is, I will say, for anyone that doesn't know, like my background is in software development. You're right. You do have to have those hours there still, but like the flexibility of doing it how and where you want. Like when you're writing code, like some of the best code personally that I've ever written is like hunched over on a couch, right? Like that's just happened to be the best environment for me. And obviously folks are different, and the environment for them matters, but that is like, we're not in the business of controlling whether you write like this or that, whatever you're most comfortable with. I think that's truly one of the most freeing parts of it is just that ability to write code and to do things exactly how you want to do it, how you work most efficiently.
Agree.
Oh yeah. I think that there's also.
Well, I'm thinking back to my college days when I was getting out, and I was all of the jobs were like in a corporate office and had a dress code, and it was just like, I can write code like this, but it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. And and some people will thrive in that environment. And there's nothing wrong with that either.
Absolutely. I think, and that goes for like in both ways. I think, right? There's one where you have to understand that there's a degree of autonomy and discipline that's needed for this. Because yes, you won't be monitored at all.
Right.
Like that's not something we do in X team. We trust the developers to be, to do their job at the time that they see fit. Of course, you need certain overlaps for meetings, etc. But the other, for everything else, trust is, I think, the key word here. Mm-hmm. But on the other side too is, I think, something that you learn with time is that you also have to kind of schedule so that like your day doesn't just become work, because again, you're not kind of fixed to a 9-to-5 routine. The day can start earlier or later, and if you're not careful, it can be the whole day, right? So I think there's a very strong component here that you have to consider to have a work life balance, that you also have discipline with that side of your life, which is actually it's one life, right? It's all the same, just like the part of their day, rather.
Yes, I think that that's super important. It goes a little bit with what I said about your psyche and the responsibility, because yes, absolutely, I agree with Caleb. Sometimes your idealistic scenario will be different. It doesn't have to be a table. Perhaps it's like drinking a coffee by your garden or something, or your backyard, and that's completely fine. But what I meant about, you have the whole day, it can be a trap that you're setting up for yourself, because eventually you're gonna think, I can just do that later, and then you will spend the whole day, working or postponing it. And going back to the working phase, I know, and that's something that I love hearing about whenever I talk with people. Yes, I'm a recruiter, so the part that I love about my job is connecting with people and collecting stories. And something that I always get is how passionate you guys are. You know, what got you into this was that passion of building things that you had fun with, for example, video games. And because you're very passionate, you're always learning something new. You're always working on pet projects, and you tend to say, "Oh, I don't see this as work," which is it's awesome. But yeah, don't also don't you know don't fall into that trap of just working. As Mario was saying, it's important to also understand your that you could start a little bit earlier or a little bit later and accommodate that, but respecting also your own time and being responsible at the end of the day. That's that maturity and autonomy that is being entrusted to you.
Totally. Yeah. Well said.
And Gaps, I think it's interesting to hear from your own experience. Like, kind of, was XTeam your first remote job, and then what things did you learn, maybe that you did not expect at first? I'm not sure. Was it your first remote job, or did you work remotely before XTeam?
I'll count it as the first fully remote. Before, I was with Caleb on that hybrid model. But fully remote, yes, it was XTeam, and the biggest shocking aspect was discovering that people are real. I'm kidding. No, but it was so beautiful because you get to connect, especially at XTeam, that everything is highly gamified. It's open spaces in which you can easily say hi to anyone and start up a conversation. So it was nice to get these opportunities of meeting other people. But going back to the question as to, yes, I would consider it to be my fully remote opportunity. First experience, sorry. Yeah.
It's funny to say that the biggest surprise was finding out people were real. I mean, I know you're kidding, but it is an amazing moment when you do first meet your coworkers that you've been working with for some time at a summit or an X outpost or something like that. That is always a really cool feeling.
Yes. Absolutely. To be honest, I still remember the first summit that I attended. I was so ecstatic, but I love that aspect of understanding that, yes, I do fully remote work, and I get the opportunity of joining this awesome community that it's from all around the world, but then getting the chance of meeting others in person.
Yeah. Talking about meeting others, as of course you both know, we have people from all over the world here. I think it's 70 plus countries, if I'm not mistaken. That's different cultures, different languages, all of that. And one I think concern that people have before joining XTeam is like communication or language skill level and so on. So in your experience, Gaps, does it matter to sound perfect speaking English? What's the expected level and communication skills that you need to be part of like a remote working environment with XTeam and working with clients and so on?
Okay. To be honest with you, don't be because I feel like that fear of not sounding perfect is something that deters you from trying. I would say, if to be realistic, you have to be, the way that I will describe it in my own words will be two things. You have to be able to hold a conversation and that it flows naturally, like as not only asking about how someone is and how their day is going, but also being able to play almost like a ping pong, not like Marty Supreme, like it's not an intense match. It's more of being able to throw the ball at the other person. That is on one side, being able to connect with people, holding on conversations, and then on the other side, it's about being able to present yourself, and I would say that you're able to showcase your personality, you as not only as a person but as a professional. By that I mean that you're able to present your experience, but also break down concepts so that you understand it, but also other people can understand you. Mm-hmm. I think that the key word here is that you're communicative, but also when it comes to work environments, that you're effectively communicating the idea that you wanted to transmit. So it's not about sounding perfect, it's about communicating efficiently or effectively.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. What about someone who is a little nervous about their levels of English, or how can you help someone kind of build confidence there? And I'm also curious if there's anything you've encountered that's just like good practical advice, like if there's an app or a website to kind of study this stuff, or maybe something more practical, like or more in person, like some kind of communication exam kind of thing. Just curious what you found over the time of helping people grow their confidence level there.
Can I be completely honest? This is the
Yeah.
advice that I give out to people, and I always give this disclaimer. Most
Please.
English teachers might not agree with me, but I always say go back to the things that you love.
Okay.
By that I mean, if you like reading, if you like watching movies or series, try to do so in your target language. If you like
Yeah.
listening to music, listen to it in your target language. In this case, English. So go back to those things. I always advise on 2 things to consume when it comes to visual media. So content. Consume sitcoms because they give you like conversational expressions that you could use on a daily basis, and it will be like, let's spark up a conversation here, and it will be, I don't know, something that you caught up on the Big Bang Theory, for example. But then also, you're all very studious because technology is always advancing, so you're always learning something new, right? Take advantage of that. If you're watching a webinar, if you're interested in a course or getting a certification, that provides you with the vocabulary that then you're gonna need to be able to present your expertise. It gives you the jargon, essentially, like the buzzwords, if you will, to be able to break down, like, hey, impersonating here, like, hey, Gabs, so I'm a full stack, I work with this, I do this, all of this. It's filled up with the vocabulary that you get from these webinars, these courses, certifications. So try to consume both. One for fun, and the other one is for fun as well, because you love what you do, but it is about being a little bit more mindful of what you're getting. So I always say consume that. And the other piece of advice is talk to yourself. I know that it sounds a little bit, like, okay, odd,
Yeah.
but hey guys, you have the best culture, and I have to show you the docu. You have the best culture when it comes to computer science, breaking down concepts to a docu, right? Do that. I mean, explain to the docu something that I always docu unite. Mario.
He's got it done. Mario's got it done. Mario might have 1,000 ducks somewhere.
I have a few.
Maybe that could be a quest, Mario. Like, find all the duckies that Mario has
There are a
all
few,
around the
yeah.
world.
There's one right here
There you go.
somewhere.
Ooh, nice.
Gaps, I completely agree with what we were saying. I think that it's very important to so first, I think that understanding the utility is the first important thing. It's very hard to learn something when you're like, I don't see how I'm supposed to put this into practice. However, for most people, it will be basically the case that they understand, I need English to get to a remote working place, especially in the global market. So that's already taken care of. And then what you said, like, do things that you enjoy, like listening to music, watching movies maybe that you already know, or maybe movies that you already know very well in your native language, and then watch them in English with subtitles, and then watch them in English with English subtitles, and then just watch them in English, right? Just progressively expose yourself to the language. Although you might not get everything, that's fine, that's okay. Your ear starts picking up words and sentences and fluctuations and all of that with time, right? Of course, if you're already watching XTV, you're probably at a certain English level because you need to be at that.
True.
But maybe we've had cases of people who became X-teamers eventually that didn't speak English at all, and they participated in the XTV or XTP back then shows and Discord and all of that, and that's a great way to kind of expose yourself and just I think be part of that, and then slowly but surely with patience and work you'll definitely get there. I wanted to get Gabs, go ahead.
I was going to say something that, listen, giving feedback is always tough on that matter, but don't get discouraged nor lose heart whenever you receive a feedback about English communication and presentation skills. Just as Mario said, and there's something that I highlight whenever I meet with people, we have ex-teamers who have explained, I had to learn, I had to really practice my English to be able to join X-team, and now they're ex-teamers. So it's not something that it's, out of, essentially, like, it's not out of reach. That's what I'm getting at. But if you get feedback, don't see it as a deterrent, of, oh, the door is entirely closed. Not at all. It's on the contrary. We understand that you're very studious, that you're very capable, and we trust that in a couple of months we're gonna be meeting again, and perhaps we're gonna be able to accompany you all the way to the X, as I like to say.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I know we have other topics that we want to cover, but before we move on from this one, I am curious, and I don't want to say it's controversial, but I'm curious if there's anything that pops into your head as something folks should avoid in terms of communication in this. Is there anything you see that's essentially a red flag in there?
Not a red flag necessarily. Just understand that there's a time and space for certain things, because
Well said.
like there's expressions that you could use, and I mean, in a one-on-one conversation with someone that you have already built a type of relationship and bond, and they understand that that's the way that you express yourself, it can be okay. But then if you're interviewing, or if you are in a process with a partner, for example, or a client, don't do yourself a disservice just by using expressions that might not be adequate for that time and space. So I think that's something that I wouldn't call like a super red flag. It's just let me call you out on this. It's because at the end of the day, yeah, you're not doing yourself justice with that.
And
Makes a lot of sense.
piggyback off of what Giovanni said in the comments, and by the way, we're gonna get to Gilvan's question in just a second. He mentioned that recently he realized that his challenge was about communication itself, not the language barrier, and now he's working on it, which is really good. So it's not just about knowing English, it's about communicating efficiently too, right? And I think that's especially challenging in a remote setting, because
Yes.
a lot of it is written. You sometimes don't hear the intention behind it. You might misinterpret something that was written. This is very common. That's why I really like to use and abuse the use of emojis on Slack to really show the intention of what is being said, right? Because otherwise you'll just be reading whatever is said there, and the intonation is really hard to get without the emojis on Slack, right? It's of course, maybe in emails it's a different story, but that's something that finding ways to making sure that one, you're expressing yourself efficiently and clearly to what you want to get, so that there's no misconceptions, and on the other side, that you also read things in a way that give a benefit of the doubt, maybe, or that you're open to clarify if there's anything that is not right, and not assuming things, because that's really bad. So maybe that's something that to Gab's point, like that there's a certain need to I think a maturity probably in terms of communication that you need to have to make it work, and don't fall into these pitfalls. But have you guys experienced anything like that? And do you use emojis too, or what do you guys do to be more precise about what you're trying to convey?
Mario, I was trying to hide myself when you were highlighting that, because it's like, if you know me on Slack, you're going to know that I tend to abuse emojis as well. But it's also because of what you said, right? We want to make sure that, like, if you talk to me, you're going to see my energy. You're going to understand, that I'm coming, but I'm coming in peace. But then when it comes to written communication, it gets a little bit tricky, right? And I think that something that you pointed out that is quite important is don't assume. I know that sometimes that it's tough because of different variables and so on, but regardless of the situation, do not assume. Try to read it as just a text first. So yeah, when it comes to that, I definitely I am hearing this and taking it as something that I'm still working on, because something that I realized as well is, and we do, is that sometimes we write the way that we talk. And don't get me wrong. For example, in my case, I used to love creative writing, but there's a different, once again, time and space, right? And something that I realized, and that's what I would like to work on more, is that of understanding that we sometimes we write as we talk, meaning when we're telling a story, we start with the whole context, like, oh yeah, I'm doing this because of, and then the action that we wanted to highlight and focus the attention. So in this way, in this environment or scenario, be strategic about it. Right now, especially, I feel like with the psyche of instant gratification, instant messaging, and so on, and thinking of how many channels we are navigating, how many channels of communication. Sorry, it's also important to know, okay, how can I get my audience attention from the get-go? I want this question answered, and in my case, I tend to provide context, right? And I used to do it the other way around: context first, question after. Then I learned question first, and let me give you the context because I think it's important, but at least you already know what I'm getting at. So
Like hooking the person already from the get-go.
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that's very good advice. And that is something I've experienced being fully remote. Is one thing you have to learn is that we talked about communication. There being different cultures, different styles, and maybe it's one of the first times you interacted with someone from that culture because it's the first time you're working remotely. Some people have a more stoic, a more direct way of talking. And when I started, I read those messages as being a little more confrontational, a little more whatever. And then you'd get on a Zoom
Right.
call or a call with them, and then, hey, how you doing? How's it going? And it's just a writing style. And yeah, that's really good advice. Is just like taking things as they are and not adding any kind of assumption to them.
Right, Caleb, that's such a good point, and there's a lot of like cultural identity in that, or like certain things are tied to certain cultures. For example, and it's not everyone, right? But it's something that I've experienced when working with Europeans or with Americans. It tends to be more to the point, right? To like, hey, hi, I need this from you, right? And then straight to the thing, like, and then, but with Latin Americans, sometimes you get like the hello, and then nothing until you answered back. Hey, how are you doing? I'm fine. How are you? Like you get all of these extra steps, and then eventually you get to the question,
Yes.
right? They really, and you have to dance. You have to go with the flow because that's what they're comfortable with. And that's fine, but again, two very different styles, and it's not that someone is less interested, or less I don't know, polite, I guess. It's just they're just trying to get to what they're trying to get and yeah, that's something that you have to consider too. There's going to be different cultures, different ways to communicate, and very, very rarely it's gonna have something to do with you personally. Like, I don't want to talk to you or something. That's not usually the thing. It's just how they're used to write. So that's a
Super
very
true.
interesting point. Yes.
Yeah,
You've
no,
heard of-
and sorry, I just while that can be confusing, I actually think in the long run that's like a cool part of remote work. Like understanding the way that a lot of folks in different parts of the world communicate, and they're like that different style has just been really fascinating to me, and I think just useful for me globally to understand just better communication
Yeah.
with people in general, even outside of work. So I've really benefited from understanding kind of the way that again, you're right, it shouldn't be a blanket statement. It's not everyone, but that there are trends in cultures, and that's cool.
Absolutely. One thing though that I want to mention, just as a general tip, especially when you're working across time zones in async, it's not that useful to write, hey, how are you? And then waiting for an answer, because that answer might come 8 hours later,
Yes.
right? So you'll really delay about a day if you
That's
go
right.
that route. So it's basically like, yeah, be polite and say, hey, I hope you're doing great. And then just go straight to your thing, because time is of the essence. And if there's a time zone in between, then you're going to get to like the answer in a week doing this
Yeah.
thing, right?
That's
So
right.
just have everything in one message, and it's just gonna be better. Doesn't mean that you don't have, you should skip the reading or anything like that, but
Right.
but I think
Yes.
personally, I think that's the best approach for async working.
I
I won't
wholeheartily
go ahead,
agree.
Kevs.
I wholeheartedly agree, because something that tends to happen, especially because of the differences that you make, for example, with Latin Americans, it's quite typical, and perhaps that's something that you're bringing on if it's your first remote experience. but don't feel like you're being pushy by sending the hi and then immediately like, hey, can I bother you with? And you're not bothering. By the way, it's like, hey, I need help with this and this and this. It's what Mara said here about like the understanding time zone differences, but also that you're not blocking yourself and you're not blocking that person because perhaps what you were
Right.
about to tell that person was extremely important. And then it's like you waited until they said hi back. And it's like,
Yes.
whoopsie, that's a whoopsie daisy. So don't block them, and don't feel bad. You can always have your manners and be like, hey, happy. Well, it's a Thursday, so yeah, happy Thursday and so on, and then deliver the message so that you are not the blocker.
That's such a good point, Gabs, of you won't be inconveniencing other people, but also don't inconvenience yourself. That's such a good point, because it will block others if you are not moving forward with what you gotta do, right? So that's a really good point that you made there. I wanted to circle back to a question here. By the way, circle back, something that we really do.
Very
say a
fancy,
lot.
very.
From Gilvan, he wanted to us to share our opinion about AI in remote work. Does it help to us deliver more, or can it get in the way? A very pertinent question, I guess. A very conversation that's very trendy. I guess it's very part of the zeitgeist. So yeah, let's maybe talk about the general this position that Axiom has towards AI, and then maybe we can explore a little bit about your own experiences with it. I want to start this one with Caleb, because he's our resident AI expert. He does a lot of vibe coding and helps us with creating apps and other solutions when we need them. So Caleb,
Totally.
how do you think does it get in the help us deliver more, or does it sometimes get in the way? How do you feel about it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think because, and it is a topical question, obviously. I think because we're so early on it, we're actually seeing both. Overall, I would say truly, I would say X Team, is embracing AI in a way that, enables developers to kind of be AI enabled. And so therefore, still human coding, but with any kind of assistance and any kind of guidance on things. I mean, I've worked as a software developer before. I've run into very tricky bugs in my life, and sometimes it is nice to have a Claude sidekick. That is nice. That being said, it's not a silver bullet. AI can slow down an organization if you're not using it right. If you don't have a methodology, if you don't have practices across the entire engineering stack at the company, you can actually make things more complicated. You can rapidly make a bunch of code that then has to be reviewed, and maybe it doesn't meet those standards because there weren't those practices in place. So you can see that in certain environments. That's globally. That's not just X Team, of course. But I think the path is looking pretty promising towards some AI assistance helping things out. Really doing there's a lot of software development that's incredibly important, human work, thinking about how to solve problems. And then there's also a lot of really tedious, annoying stuff that you have to do, setting up these new server environments and things like that, that really isn't really that complicated. It's just a headache. And if AI can do a little bit of that and let humans focus on the real problems, the real tasks, I think that's the way to go. And that's what I've mostly been seeing. But yeah, saying, implementing AI is going to make everything better. I would say only if there's a solid plan for your organization and your teammates, your coworkers, and an understanding of it, because it has the ability to make things worse.
Mm-hmm. Isn't there a bridge maybe in terms of how Is it me? I'm hearing like water.
I do hear a lot of water.
Yes, is it water music? What water sounds? Okay, it's gone. It's gone. Sorry if you didn't hear it at home. I feel like it wasn't a waterfall for some reason.
Yes.
I was thinking about like an analogy between the fact that you might be very good at English but not know how to communicate, to you might be really well versed in creating an AI system, but at the same time, if it doesn't mean that you should apply it to everything, because it might get in your way, actually. And there's certain things that you can't really replace, or there's a certain soft skill, I guess, that you will need to develop to know exactly how systems work and how we can insert something without breaking the organic flow that is already existing. And many workflows that are actually like human dependent, which we're trying to minimize just so that they can get working on more important things and not the repetitive tasks. But I think there's a question of having a certain like criteria to know when to do something and when you maybe shouldn't do that. So that's interesting what you said. Gabs, how you feel about it?
I will say that I wholeheartedly agree with both of your stances here. And well, first and foremost, we're like the pilots when it comes to, and I think that one of them it's called co-pilot for a reason, maybe. But the human discernment is the judgment that you're going to apply to know, okay, should I go with this or should I revise it or should I just trust my instincts? I feel like that is human discernment. And for example, if you're using it for communication and you feel like this is not my tone of voice or this is not what I intend to say, you also have the power to call out that, because at the end of the day, better in terms of context, because it doesn't matter how much we input to, the prompt. You still know, okay, but this is the situation. This is the variables that you take into consideration. And I think that the same can be applied to perhaps other scenarios, like trust your foundational knowledge of programming, logic, and so on, so that you approach it cautionary, but not limit yourself and say like, oh no, it's not a tool that you wouldn't use. I think that if anything, you could, somewhere I read about it being augmented intelligence helping you out. So take advantage of that. But I'm gonna quote my favorite superhero here, but with great power, great responsibility. So know what you're doing and trust your instincts.
Very true. So yeah, and what about Gil? Maybe you know a little bit more about like the official stance or the projects that we have internally in terms of AI and how we see that the future, like the almost symbiosis of AI with devs, right? We talk about AI augmentation in a way. Can you maybe talk a little bit more about that direction? And we're also doing certain things internally to make that happen. And you're a big part of it. So yeah, I thought you're the best person to talk about it.
Absolutely, and of course, the business of X Team is that we serve multiple clients. Obviously, we're not going to get into the details of those clients, but every organization has their own process of how they do things, right? X Team doesn't really dictate that for the clients. We might advise on that, but the organization is going to come up with their own processes and rules and policies and things like that. But so it is going to vary is what I'm trying to say, is that every developer's experience might vary based on their client experience. But overall, you're seeing a lot of the same trends. It's really like any other technology in that it's going to keep changing. So what was relevant 3 months ago may still have relevance, but it might not be the main thing to sort of focus on. So there is ever learning, built into this. However, that's usually what most developers signed up for 30 years ago was that these things evolve and change, and they were going to learn new code bases and new languages and things like that. Talking more to the developer experience, you see things like just having the ability to have an LLM, just look at code before it gets pushed out, looking for like simple bugs, syntax errors, like things like that you really just improve the developer experience and just help push code to production. I think you'll see a lot of that stuff where, I don't think there's a big worry about like, oh, it's, AI is going to take all the jobs. Like it's going to make a lot of that process just more enjoyable. Like I said, so you can focus more on code and more on, maybe developers are a little more product focused in an AI world. This is me speculating a little bit more, but maybe developers are more involved in the product process as they are freed up, to not do kind of tedious tasks. But internally speaking to X Team, we do embrace, obviously with some guidance, with some guide rails, we embrace vibe coded apps, like you said, like we do for internal stuff, for stuff that's low risk. We here have we built a game for an event, a web-based racing game that was entirely vibe coded, and that's something that we just wouldn't have done before. It's not like we would have hired a developer to do that. We just wouldn't have done it because it was an internal thing, but it was able to, highlight our internal event to have this cool racing game. So it does make some like little ideas more possible. And so we are embracing, using vibe coding in that sense. And I personally use it a lot for like, we see spreadsheets and documents, and there's just all this information. And sometimes I think you'll agree with me, it's nice to just have an LLM say, look at this and tell me what I'm missing. What should I be looking at here? And just get a little bit of support, like a co-pilot. It's nice to have. So I think that's overall, I'm speaking from my own kind of personal perspective, but overall, I'd say embracing AI with a full focus on human, on real developers.
Well said. Very nice. Gabs, how about you? Do you have any last few words about the AI topic for our viewers today?
I think that's what I said before. I agree with how we can take advantage of it, but always with that level of human discernment. But also, maybe this is going back to this, and I mean it, like trust also your knowledge. If you feel that there's something off, even, you see it below that it says like, it can make mistakes. And if you feel that there's something wrong, run it again or revise it, review it. Don't be afraid of saying like, maybe that's not as, as it should be. And hey, maybe you caught up on a bug or something, but trust that as well. Like, don't rely on it and think that just because it is, something so far advanced. And I say this also for other people that perhaps are not developers, but that you think of this technology as so far advanced. No, there's still humans behind it, and it's very valuable that you bring that input. Actually, that is what allows us to keep evolving and keep developing this awesome technology that we're seeing nowadays.
Yeah, it's based on human interaction, knowledge, conversations, communication, all of it. So that's it's true. It's a tool. We should know how to use it. And maybe circling back, see, I did it again, to Jilda's question. I think there's no one answer whether it helps us deliver but it can definitely get in the way. Yes, that's a definite. It can get in the way. I think you can overuse it. I think you can start losing your confidence in that you can produce things that are valuable, worthwhile, and even better than an AI produced thing. There's of course always the aspect of convenience with all of this that is very strong, and sometimes we kind of lose a little bit of agency due to the comforts there that the tech is promising. But we should, just like we need discipline to go work out instead of just lying on the couch or something. I think we should, at times not go for the simple AI generated answer, but rather just sit down, pick up a pen and write something down, write down your thoughts and your ideas, and then maybe edit it and improve it with AI, be it to create an app or just to write a nice letter to a friend or whatever it is, right? A message to your boss, whatever it is. So I think that's my recommendation personally. We have 10 more minutes, guys, and I wanted to play one game today in the spirit of the World Cup that, of course, started not like an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago, yeah.
Right? And for this one, we're going to be inviting both X-Teamers and non-X-Teamers to play today. That what we just showed, those are the prizes for the non-X-Teamers. So if you win this game, you get to choose one of those items that we showed on the top. Those are the tumbler, the t-shirt, and the cap. And for X-Teamers, you'll get some coins so you can choose whichever item you want from the vault.
Now, Mario, if they are not an X-Teamer yet, what we call a future X-Teamer, but they win, how can they redeem their prize?
Well, that's an excellent question, Caleb. Of course, through our Discord, which I'll be linking. I think I linked it in the very first. I can copy paste. Why not? Sure. There you go. I was gonna do the convenient thing. There you go.
Build an AI agent to paste.
There you go. So join our Discord, and then you can claim your prize if you win through in the channel that is called Claim Prizes, conveniently. And use it to stay in touch with us, ask questions around anything related X-Team, the recruitment process, anything like that, right? So that's the spot to do that. And again, in the light of the World Cup, we're gonna be playing a game which is recognizing country flags. So it's very simple. We're gonna put up a flag, and then you are gonna be answering in the chat here on YouTube which country you think this flag represents. Whoever gets it first gets a point. Whoever gets to 3 to 5, we'll see how much time we have and how fast we go. But let's say 5 points. Whoever gets to 5 points first gets the win. So yeah, we're just gonna be doing that, and just answer there, first come first serve, of course. So whoever gets it first gets the points. And can you use Google? Sure. If no one knows the flag and you just want to screenshot and look for it, sure. If you're fast enough, you can use it. That's not cheating. That's just using the tools you have at your disposal. That's what I'd say. All right. So did we understand the game? I'm not sure if people are still here. I think so, right? Let's see if the chat has any questions around this game. Or if they want to play, right? Maybe they're watching the game, so maybe that's completely fine. It's completely fine. So maybe we don't play this. We'll play a few rounds amongst ourselves, and then we'll right. Let's do that. So let's start with the first one and see where it takes us.
I trust my knowledge.
Oh my god, I don't. What?
I don't. I was just gonna say I do not trust my knowledge.
I was about to say
Can we zoom in a little bit? What the hell?
Would appreciate a zoom.
Okay. To be honest, this is the first time that I'm seeing this.
Oh, completely. Yeah, it is. So there's certain things, right, on the flag that might suggest certain areas, right? So you have this what appears to be a shield, and you have something like a spear. I'm not sure what those little are those leaves? Blue leaves?
Not sure.
That's very interesting. We're getting Kenya. We're getting Swaziland.
Interesting.
Maybe. Sure. Again, you can screenshot this and look for it if it's quicker that way. I'm with Theo. I'd say this is somewhere in Africa, but again, it might be anywhere, like Micronesia or something. but it looks African to me. Am I being ignorant right now? No, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. So we have Kenya and Swaziland. If anyone wants to chime in and try their luck, Gabs, what would you say where this is?
Sweet bananas, to be quite frank. I'll also say that it's somewhere in Africa, and then watch us be corrected. But yeah, I have no clue whatsoever. I was going to comment that I love blue, but I think that this is the first time that I've seen like a, like this flag.
I've never seen this flag. How about you,
Same,
Caleb?
no. New to me. I also could see Africa for sure. This is not my expertise.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh my god. Okay, so let's check out what it is. We'll go with so we have to type in let's try Eswatini, which
Oh wow.
Correct.
oh my god. Let me just check where it is exactly. Teeny.
I was about to say
shocked.
before we started that I am definitely like looking to type faster because of these games, but now I also see that I need to learn my flags because I'm not looking good here.
So Eswatini is a very small kingdom, landlocked in South Africa, from what I see.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Cool. The more you know. It was correct. Awesome. Let's go to the next one, which is already on screen. Which means this is Guilherme. Guilherme gets it right and gets 1 point.
I feel like
go for the next
should
one.
know this flag.
You got 1 point, and if you get to 3, you win points. In your case, so yet another mysterious flag. These are hard. I thought we were gonna get, I don't know, England or something.
Can we get a
These ones
hint?
are really hardcore. Or maybe, I don't know, it speaks to our Eurocentric education or something. Whatever it is. So I again said Africa, right? I don't know. Gambia. We have a Gambia. We have Gambia in the chat.
Okay.
And no other guesses. Let's try Gambia. And if so, then Rados gets a point because I have no clue.
Oh, seriously?
It was
So
correct. Rados,
I have a question. Did you set up
Congratulations.
this too hard or something? Because where are these flags? Like, listen, I'm getting
What
the
about the
hint. I
next
need to
one?
learn.
What about this one? Oh my god, this is not easy.
It's very colorful.
So I know
Let's
that's
give
not
it.
United States,
It's not United States.
although it has stars and
Lebanon.
Stripes.
Comoros. Okay. I'm not sure where that is. Yes, I'm not gonna pretend that I know where it is.
I straight up don't know.
Took a while, I guess, and I
But
don't think
our
that I'm nowhere near close.
Chat has been doing a great job.
No, Chad is incredibly educated and versed in the flag game. Like, that's impressive. So let me see.
Comoros.
Let's just try Comoros. I'm shocked. I feel that I don't live on planet Earth.
There is a country. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, let's go to Comoros and check it out. It is correct. Theo gets 1 point. So we have Rados, Guy, and Theo with 1 point. Fun fact, Comoros, for those who are as ignorant as I am, is a small island country. I don't know how small though. Like in between Madagascar and Mozambique. Right, so it's in in Africa, definitely. There it is. Okay, so the next one, which we lost the thing, we're gonna be. So we'll go
The-
for
the-
the final.
Getting
The
it back
final.
up.
This is like a roulette round. If any of the three that I mentioned, Guy, Rados, or Teo, gets the next one
Go.
right, they'll win because we have a minute to go. All right. So let's bring it up and just throw it on the screen and just go for the next one.
Speed round.
Can we see the? There you go. Okay, final round. There you
It's
go.
a beautiful flag.
That is a
It
flag.
is very nice. It's very
Yeah.
nice.
It is cool.
It's very black and then it's very red.
Mm-hmm.
Some
It has
stars.
a. Is that a Schmetterling? Is that a
Butterfly?
butterfly? Yeah.
No, I think that's like what do you call those birds that? Oh, or maybe it's a
Like a
flower.
hummingbird?
I don't even know if it's a flower or a bird. It might be both.
It could be
Or a
Superman for
hummingbird.
all we know.
Who knows? Papua New Guinea. Okay,
Oh.
let's try Papua New Guinea.
Z, that's the typing speed that I want. Oh wow,
Wow.
nice.
And there you go, Theo
There it
gets
is.
the
Who's that?
point. And
Nice.
with that, 100 coins for you to spend in the vault. Let's just show some examples of the things that we have in the vault as it was from the... So yeah, you already won, Theo. You can stop. You already killed it.
That's
There
my
you go.
that's my Tachyon.
There you go.
I'm proud.
Here's some items from the
There you
vault.
go.
This vault is like this shop that we have internally where ex-teamers can get points by participating in things such as this stream, events that we have internally, quests, which are like mini missions that we put out, and then they can get points, and then they can spend it on items that we have in our store,
Yeah.
the vault.
I'm actually wearing
And-
my furry shirt.
There you go.
Very nice. I just got another Lux tumbler because I loved it, and
Oh.
someone else is using mine now, so I got one for me again. So it was yes. Guys, thanks so much for today, Gaps. We really appreciate your help on answering
Yeah,
these
thank you, Gaps.
questions. Caleb, amazing as always, and Chad, thank you so much for being here for this hour. Have a lot of fun during the World Cup, right? I hope you guys are watching some games. We have another
Right.
like a set of games and activities coming up in the next few weeks around those. So stay sharp, stay tuned to XHQ. And yeah, thank you again in the back end to Jonah so much.
Yes.
And we'll
Thank
see
you,
you
Jonah.
next time, everyone. All right? Take care.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.